Hello, fellas, and welcome back to another Sawk Talk. I am your host, JediMono8895 today, and I am co-hosted with JR the Juggernaut.
What's going on, everybody?
And today our special guest is Soulfate515. Say hello there.
Yes, boy.
I love that catchphrase. And if
Don't
you guys,
worry, I'll have my own soon.
and for those of you guys are wondering where is Herpy Derpy, this is a podcast without herpes.
90% less herpes.
90% less herpes. Hey, everybody, guess where the remaining 10% comes from?
Me.
Okay, never mind. You guys, I'm officially walking away from this conversation.
All right. Well, you have to wait another 30 minutes or whenever how long this is gonna be. Anyway, so welcome back to another Sawk Talk. If you Deox and Herpy are not in, Herpy's busy doing his college apps or whatever because he's such a honor student, and we have Deox whose parents are shunning him from computer life.
Or he was abducted by aliens, one or the other. We still haven't figured out which.
Anyways, so we got a lot to talk about today. It's been a while since our last Sawk Talk, and I figured I'd just upload or get one recorded so you guys can listen to it, even if it's without your favorite voice, Herpy Derpy. And, alright, so let's ask a few questions directed towards Soulfate. So, Soulfate, how you doing? How you doing today?
Not bad. Have to say, it's been a pretty good day.
Good.
Saw this totally hot Asian chick on the bus. Oh my god.
We're all going to hell, aren't we?
Okay, I'm not bringing you to my high school. Anyways, so a more serious question. What do you think of the? I know Soulfate, for you guys, for those of you who don't know him very well, he's into lower tiers like the most of us here, and he's a pretty decent RU player. He is like top 100 on RU ladder on Smogon. So, what do you think of the RU metagame so far?
There's really not much to dislike about it right now. I think it's gotten pretty stable. Right now, it's really just hoping that usage stays up in UU so nothing really drops down that's too overpowered like Cresselia was. That thing was.
Oh god.
I was just gonna mention that bitch.
Oh my god. If she was actually brought to life, I would be so angry.
I gotta be honest, my nickname for her, like when she was in RU, was the BBB, the big booty bitch.
The moonlighting bitch.
That would have also been a good title.
Yeah.
She works the midnight shifts. Bam. Bam.
Or calm-minding moonlighting bitch.
Roxanne.
So,
Wait.
So Jared, we can direct this question to you as well.
Cool. In terms of RU, I definitely gotta say I am liking it.
Hello?
Nope. Did you just cut out?
You said oot. Well, I have no idea what the hell just happened to JR. Your mic. Hold on. Let's type in your mic might be. Oh. Wait, what is happening?
Nope. He DC'd.
He did DC.
Well, maybe it's a two-person Sawk Talk now.
Oh, it just may be. So we'll continue on with the Sawk Talk. So far, even with the absence of random JR cutting out, I have no idea what just happened. So, anyways, let's see. My opinion on the RU metagame, it's a lot easier to bring originality into the game than it was.
Absolutely. I mean, people will still try to find their way to include weather in it somehow, but
Wait,
those people are just one in every dozen.
wait, JR?
Yeah,
What just happened?
I don't know.
You literally just cut out for
I
about.
think he just slipped into an alternate dimension where John Lennon never got killed, and then aliens abducted him and John Lennon, and they got to do acid, and they went and to a yellow
I really hope you
submarine.
said acid and not asses.
No, I said asses.
Wait,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
literally,
you guys
okay,
did asses instead of acid.
okay, literally, JR,
Okay,
you
this
were.
conversation just... I have nothing to say.
What is this? I don't even. Anyways, JR, you literally cut out rant mid sentence.
I said it doesn't... it doesn't change the fact that I really like RU. It's still a very good tier in my opinion.
It changes what factor? We didn't even get you that far.
Oh, Well, did you hear what I was saying about Sceptile?
No,
Skeptile?
you literally said like 4 words and then you just cut out into nothingness.
Okay, well, I was saying that with Sceptile, how that's a poke that I'm definitely seeing is potentially overpowering in RU, just because of its sweeping potential. I mean, as I was saying before, you get up a Sword Dance, you activate Flight Gem, and you could pretty much just sweep through your opponent's team with it. It's good. It's basically, I guess I would compare it to Feraligatr in a way, except Sceptile, actually, the only problem is if you try to set up a Swords Dance and your opponent goes into something much faster, then you're put in a tough spot. So it's still one of those pokes you really have to predict carefully with if you want to make full use of it.
I still feel like there are many like checks to it though.
There are, but at the same time, even they're like not really, because if you give it the set of Swords Dance, Leaf Blade, Acrobatics, and Earthquake, you can hit almost anything for neutral damage, and a lot of hits like +2, they will do a lot of damage to whatever your opponent has,
especially in RU.
Especially in RU, yeah.
The only one I see Crustle, I guess, as a potentially something that could at least prevent it sweeping.
Well, yeah, Crustle's like, it can hit it hard like with an X's or something, and because it has Sturdy, that's good. But I'm saying the poke either has to be incredibly bulky, or it has to be an incredibly bulky poke that wouldn't get hit for super effective damage, or something that like Crustle that has Sturdy. Otherwise, But on top of that, a lot of people don't even know about Unburden, with the ability, and they bring in something and expecting outspeed, and they're just like, what's going on? What?
Unburden is such an underrated ability.
It really is. Like, some people will claim that it was wasted on Sceptile, but if you think about it, it's like, it's really better just because the fact that Sceptile can only use it effectively once it has a Swords Dance up, like, it makes it more balanced in a sense.
I mean, really, like, the things that have Unburden, like, don't really use its full potential. I mean, you got Sceptile. Found normally is really Drifblim. That's the only one I could think of. Found normally, it's Drifblim, Drifloon, Liepard, and Purloin, and no one's could ever use that. And in Dream World, which I'm not even sure if it's legal yet, you got Excelgor, Grovyle, Hitmonlee, Sceptile, and Trico. So really, Excelgor doesn't really need it that much.
Wait, what was it? Did you say Hitmonlee?
Yeah.
Hitmonlee, though, that could actually work.
Yeah, but what item do you give it to potentially unlock that?
Well, some people would probably want to do, like a normal gem for like a normal gem boosted fake out, but then again, you'd also be hurting its Reckless ability in the process.
Yeah, and Reckless
is really good.
It is pretty good.
But then again, if you've seen a Staraptor with Reckless, you kind of know that already.
Pretty much.
Really, I think the only threat to the stability of RU right now is any unreleased Dream World abilities, like, for example, Feraligatr, when that thing comes out.
Well, I've talked about this on multiple occasions. I can't wait for it to come out, but I'm also very prepared for it to move up in tiers, which is perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm. Like, that thing will probably...
It will be a beast. We all know that.
I don't think it will break OU still, because a lot of people prefer Moxie Gyarados over it still.
I agree. I think Gyarados is the main reason why, and I guess also people might also prefer Scrafty over it.
And the only thing that would keep it in RU or NU would be the fact that Nidoking gets Sheer Force, and he's got a much more diverse move pool compared to Feraligatr. So.
Yeah, but the reason why I still think Feraligatr would be better is for the fact that it can actually you can get it to a point where it can outspeed a lot of pokes, whereas Nidoking, it's pretty slow, so it's not really able to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if in order to do that, you have to give it a Scarf, which, Life Orb is obviously the better item for it. So, yeah, if you can have a fast version of Nidoking that hits harder, that hits just as hard, if not harder, then it's like, look what you've got on your hands. It's pretty ridiculous. The only thing I'm not sure of is what is all 4 moves I would probably use on that for Alligator, because you would definitely want to ideally use Waterfall and Ice Punch. Water, ice, obviously. But then, like, what would be another good move? Like, because I've been testing, like, with Earthquake is good, but it doesn't get the Sheer Force boost.
Does he not get Outrage?
I think he might get Outrage, but does that get Sheer Force boosted?
I don't know.
What does? For Alligator?
No, Outrage.
I don't believe it does get Sheer Force boosted.
Yeah, it's just if you found a move that did get the boost, but was also like an actual like practical move to use in terms of typing, yeah. But I mean, I guess if you had to use Earthquake, it would be fine. It's just good for hitting a lot of things that would wall Nidoking. Sorry, for Alligator. Why am I saying Nidoking?
Alright, so I do agree with the abilities, and we're going to move on to our next question here. Which has been a pretty popular subject. Now, this is one of the longer questions, so just hear me out on this. Now, I believe, I'm not sure on the full details, but I think Smogon is allowing like people to. I'm not even sure it's Smogon or anything, but I know there's some voting to allow one Dream World Pokemon on whatever.
Yeah, I have heard about this.
That's the PO vote.
It's the PO vote to allow one Dream World ability come in and whatever it is, and lots of YouTubers, Poke YouTubers, I don't know what you call it, the people with a lot of subscribers have been advertising to put Ditto as
I've been noticing that a lot, and I get it, but even so,
I mean, people are really talking highly of it because they're like, oh, it's gonna go. Well, let me explain a little bit more here. If Ditto does potentially get this Dream World ability, it will be Imposter, and what Imposter allows you to do is it transforms automatically right as it's switched in.
I've seen the ability in action, and that's the reason why Ditto would be playable, because of the fact that we get the instant transformation as opposed to having to use Transform, which would be a real benefit, a real huge benefit.
But I'm not really 100% sure with Transform's mechanics. Does it allow to copy abilities, stats?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so
Transform would allow you to copy everything.
Okay.
I found out there's only one thing Transform can't do, which is actually pretty funny. The only thing Transform can't do is copy a copy.
What do you mean by that?
I was watching this on a YouTube video. Apparently, Ditto cannot take on the form of another Ditto that has transformed into a Poke.
Well, then it would just be a struggle war.
No, I mean, like, you could...
Well, I see what you mean.
Like, you know how it's like they could just transform and get their moves? Well, Ditto can't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, people are talking how this thing will go OU, and with Smogon's description, it said that Imposter is a god sent to Ditto, turning it from a gimmick to one of the most powerful revenge killers in the game. And I absolutely agree. Just give it one choice scarf, and literally anything it comes in is dead.
That's the plan a lot of players have. Give it a choice scarf, and they can outspeed whatever killed it, and yeah.
And I mean, I guess the only thing that you don't want to do is like switch it in on a wall. But there is like, okay, I have kind of two questions around this. Like, well, if I'm pretty sure Ditto is going to get the vote because I think it's leading by a lot. What do you think? How far will Ditto get once it gets voted in?
I think OU is definite minimum to begin with, because a lot of people are going to use that as soon as it gets released, based on it's popular, it's new, people like that sort of stuff. Whether I think it will last, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Like, just think if it switches in on Hydreigon, that's going to make people a lot more afraid to use offensive teams, and you'll see more rain-stall teams. And I think that'll ruin the OU metagame slightly, and a lot of people are talking about it going Ubers as well, possibly, which I don't think will happen because a lot of people seeing this thing around won't be inclined to use the offensive teams that we've been using in the OU.
Right. It's a matter of, changes in the metas, the OU meta game, if you want to call it that. I mean, the way I see it, it's just this Ditto is going to be really good, but I like the fact that it will reduce a lot of usage for some of the dragon pokes. And given that there are a lot of dragons being used in OU nowadays, it's like, I really like this. You know, I like that people are going to kind of be like, oh, which dragon am I going to use? Oh, maybe I shouldn't use a dragon after all because of that fucking Ditto.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't see, I'm sure it could be Uber, but I don't see, I just can't see it, in Uber. I can't see, people seeing Ditto and go, oh, come on, man, why do you have to use such overrated shit? It's like,
Oh, I can
Ditto?
totally see someone using a Ditto in Ubers on every single team.
It could work, but it's just,
As
so
soon as
weird
someone
to think
sees
about
a
it.
YouTube
That doesn't necessarily mean it's worth having that doesn't necessarily mean it should be in Ubers as opposed to OU. You know?
That's
Yeah.
true. Okay.
I think it'll be on every single Uber's team because they can revenge kill just about anything.
That and because of all the limited choices you have for Ubers, it just seems like, that's my main problem with Ubers. The fact that it seems to lack a lot of originality, but I can understand the enjoyment in using a lot of broken pokes.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like fun. Alright, so this is the second part of my question. And a lot of Pokemon YouTubers have been advertising how people should vote for Ditto to get its imposter ability. And a lot of people have been saying that it's very controversial and how that's not right or fair in any way because it should be on their own opinions, not what other Pokemon YouTubers tell them. So do you think there is a problem with that?
It's a good question.
I don't know. For me, in a way, I'd have to say no, that it's not really a problem because one of the things that we're doing as Pokemon YouTubers is we're showing what we know about the metagame. We're showing cool things that can be done, and we're giving off our own opinions about things most of the time because there is no one set method in Pokemon, and everyone knows that. In which case, I think, there's nothing really wrong with it. But if people want to vote for something else, don't feel obligated to vote for what your favorite YouTuber thinks. Like, if your favorite YouTuber thinks that you should vote for Ditto, you don't have to vote for Ditto. You could vote for, I don't know, let's say...
Sheer Force for Alligator.
Yeah, you could vote for Sheer Force for Alligator.
Yeah.
You could vote for whatever Seaking gets. I don't know if he's had his Dream World ability.
Yeah, Seaking.
Yeah. Just vote for what you feel like voting.
Yeah, don't feel pressured.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
Ha ha ha.
I thought that was
see what
pretty.
you did there.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense if pressure was a Dream World ability.
I wonder if it is.
I don't think so.
You guys
if it
keep
was,
talking.
that would be dumb.
For me, I haven't voted yet just because I haven't seen one thing that I want to vote for.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to choose right now, it would be Ditto because that's the only thing that I've actually looked into. But I kind of plan on looking into other things, trying to find something interesting to vote for.
I mean, for me, it would probably be narrowed down to one of two, not Ditto, because, I mean, I can understand using Ditto, but I would want to pick something that I would be really interested in using. So for me, it would probably be either Sheer Force for Alligator or No Guard Golurk.
Ooh, yes, I agree. And just for the record, 4 Pokemon get pressure in Dream World, which is Bisharp, Poniard, Welmer, and Wailord.
Give me 1 sec. What?
I had to turn that down.
Do I even have to explain the stupidity in that?
I totally want to pressure Wailord now. Imagine that.
Har.
That'd be awesome.
It's good for those last resorts Eevees running around in the OU metagame.
Because
does Wailord get mentioned?
popular.
Alright, so I'm trying, for time's sake here, I'm trying to think of better questions. Now, I'm not really sure if you guys know about the Blame Truth saga that's been going on with the supposedly being haunted on the metagame. And or not haunted in the metagame. His house is being haunted by like a white ditto, quote unquote.
Spooky.
It is. I can already tell what's your answer going to be. But I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and this is just for time's sake, because I can't think of any good questions right now. Number 1, do you believe it? And number 2, do you think what he's doing is right? And we'll start with our guest, Soulfate.
Well, me, I don't believe in anything paranormal at all. So no, I don't believe in it. Do I think it's right? Well, it's his channel. He can upload whatever he wants on there, you know? If he wants to upload stuff about a white ditto haunting him, yeah, go ahead. If he wants to update a video about him banging 2 totally hot hookers, then yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we'd lose a complete and utter respect for him, but...
Yeah, like, I think if I did that, no one would lose respect for me, because I don't think anyone has all that much for me to begin with, but... That's aside from the point. Yeah, if he's enjoying it, let him enjoy it. Because part of the thing with us doing this is we have to enjoy it. Otherwise, we're not going to want to upload, and we're not going to want to battle people, you know? So,
And
that's my take on it. It was kind of funny when I first saw the Blame Truth thing. It was after watching Paranormal Activity 3 with one of my friends. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. Now I'm not going to sleep tonight. even though I predicted that entire movie, believe me or not.
I haven't even seen it.
It's a shit movie.
I
Wait,
figured.
what movie?
Paranormal Activity 3.
I hear it's not like shit, but I hear it's like a step forward and a step back from the second one. Mostly because the characters are idiots, apparently, in this film.
Oh, yeah, total idiots. Like, oh my god.
No,
I
Jared.
haven't seen the movie yet, so no comment.
So, Jared, your take on BT's situation here?
Honestly, you know, I don't really want to sound like an idiot, but I honestly feel like, you know, on one hand, this could easily be something he's making up for publicity, but on the other hand, you know, he seems legitimately freaked out by the situation, and he's already shown that some real paranormal shit going on in his house. So it's kind of like, who's to say this can't be real? You know, like, I guess I can't say for certainty whether or not it's real or not, but I don't have a problem with what he's doing. I mean, because regardless, he's either getting some real shit down, he's either showing some real crazy shit, or he's just providing us with quality entertainment. Either way, I'm satisfied.
And the other thing is, if people don't like the paranormal stuff that he's uploading, then don't watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
Don't complain over it.
Okay.
He'll eventually get... Yeah, he'll eventually get back to...
suggest that he do things differently, fine. But don't be a complete utter bitch/troll and just be like, you have to do this. Like, I think a good example of that actually is if you watched his video where he talked about switching over sort of from like FPSs to Pokemon, which he was doing a lot of, you know, he started doing that a few months ago, and I was like, I think that's cool. Like, I'm not a huge fan of FPSs, but it's like, if you still want to do that, I'd be fine with that. And so many of his fans raged in the comments about how they were either unsubbing or disappointed that he was like, that he was switching over to Pokemon, and I was just like,
Okay.
Well, what a lot of those people have to remember, too, is he originally started off doing Pokemon commentaries. It wasn't...
I wish I could say I knew that, but I didn't actually know that.
I really don't know Blame Truth that much. I think I started following him like this summer.
I started following him like earlier in the year because my brother loves FPS like related videos, and yeah.
Anyways, I feel like my take is I think it's realistic. So I'm gonna go on 2 perspectives here. When I first saw the story, I was a little bit sketchy, but when Capture 1 came out, it literally scared the shit out of me. Like, I was freaked out. Like, I kept watching it, and I had nightmares about Professor Oak, and not really, but I'm gonna say
Professor Oak's gonna come rape AJ.
yes, yes, boys.
Ooh.
Any.
Thank you.
Anyways,
Talking about kinky stuff.
at first I sort of believed it. Like, I was like, okay, this could be believable, but then you gotta ask yourself, like, are ghosts real? And then you gotta, like, look at it from a broader perspective. And so then I, like, didn't start believing it, but the fact that, like, he went past Halloween and he's, like, not actually uploading genuine content is kind of, like, making me sketchy that he actually, like, is that it is real. But then at one point, I'm not sure like the whole specifics, but usually on Quando Ren 66 or Elo's stream, I usually like to jump in and listen and watch. And Blame Truth was on it, and like people kept like literally the whole chat was filled with people asking him questions about it, and he didn't answer a single one of them.
I don't blame him.
Ah, good one. And
well, here's the thing. Honestly, if I was in his situation, I wouldn't go through it because, one, he's obviously going to plan to answer a lot of these questions in his video. Two, if a lot of people are just asking questions for the sake of trolling, like, yeah, is he really just going to put up with that shit?
Yeah, that's also a good point. But in one of other Elo streams, like, people were asking about it with Elo when Blame Truth wasn't there. And I think Elo's answer was like, even if it isn't real, you guys shouldn't be annoying him about it, which kind of made me think like he does know, he's just not telling. But I did a little research about it, and it was like there was like other videos to it, and I don't know, and whether it's believable or not, I'm not sure, but I really like watching him. And personally, I really don't have any problem that he's doing it. I just have a problem that like. He can upload whatever the hell he wants. Like, I'm okay with it, but he's being paid to make videos related to video games because he is a partner with Machinima, and he does upload to Machinima. And it just makes me think, like, what is Machinima looking at this? Like, are they looking at this and goes, oh, this is good? Or are they looking at this and goes, okay, what's this guy doing? He's completely trying to gain subs or whatever. Like, that's really, like, my only preference. Like, you're either cheating your subscribers out, or you're just, like, ruining, like, the money that's incoming for you, or complete opposite. You're, like, getting even more money out of people's curiosity.
Yeah, but I guess it depends, like, because the thing is, if he has legitimate reason for not, like, not, posting, like, actual videos in a while, and this is just kind of his way of putting in filler for it, then, you know, I would understand.
I feel like it's a little too long to actually be, like, I feel like it's too long to not having this going on without actually posting videos.
Yeah, I suppose, but I mean, he even said, "Oh, I wasn't here like this week."
Oh yeah,
why.
when that Anthony's Missing video came out, I was talking to Soulfate when this happened. Like, I completely thought, okay, he just ruined the whole series. But
yeah,
I think he either tried reviving it or he like actually was gone.
Well, it seems like he was actually gone, but we don't know anything for certainty.
Well, I think he's posting a video soon about like him going back.
Well, hey, he must be doing something right because he's had 100,000 plus views on every single one of those videos. So,
I mean, he lost 200 subs or 2,000 subs.
Oh,
that sounds dumb. Why?
Because once when Anthony's videos coming out, like Anthony's Missing video, literally like I went like I had like I knew like somehow how many subscribers he had before, and when I went back, he had lost like 1 or 2K.
Well, they'll be coming back once he goes back to games, and he'll go back to them eventually. Unless this is going to be what he's doing from now on, with maybe doing paranormal stuff rather than video games, in which case I don't know why he would do that, because Mishima might dump him and
I have no idea.
Someone else, but
yeah, it seems like he wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't some legitimacy to it, because he knows what he'd be risking as a result, you know?
Or he's contacted them about it, and they're just like,
okay with it? I don't.
Yeah.
Alright, so clearly we've covered that topic. Actually, we probably couldn't. We can go on and on about that topic, but
on and on and on and on.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm gonna ask a few more questions here. And what do you think of the OU metagame now that Excadrill and Thundurus are gone?
Definitely better. Definitely a better meta now. But I pretty much made it clear. Like, I loved Excadrill, but the thing was just like this. I guess I would call it this. There were two major problems I had with it. Number one, that you could only use it on a Sandstorm team. That was only viable when there was sand involved. And number two, the fact that Sand Rush is it's just pretty much like Swift Swim and Chlorophyll. It's a broken, overpowered ability.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
I don't like those types of abilities. Like, Unburden, I think, one could argue it's broken, but at the same time, number one, it's something that'll rarely ever activate right away, unless you have some kind of weird item that does that. And number two, there's also the fact that what was I just gonna say? There's also the fact that it only happens once. The speed boost won't remain if you switch the poke out, so that is kind of balanced in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But
see, with Thunderous, I figured it would get banned eventually. Like, that thing
Same.
was just a beast. Excadrill, at first, when I first started going on PO early this year, was when I found it. Before that, I'd just been battling people I had known.
Yeah, same.
When I first found it, yeah, I thought Excadrill needed to be banned as well. But then I started playing the OU metagame for a bit, and I found that he actually isn't that overpowered. And my thing is that the problem is with weather. We need to figure out what we're going to do with it. And I'm even going to throw Blaziken into this example as well, because I fully believe that... What's going on?
Someone's getting a text message.
Okay.
Ah!
Something stopped. No, there it is again.
Stop. I think it's gone. Just go ahead.
Alright, yeah. So, I'm gonna throw Blaziken into this topic as well, because the thing is, we need to figure out what we're gonna be doing at Smogon, whether we're gonna stick with the complex bans that we've been making, such as Swift Swim and Drizzle, which I kind of like the idea of these complex bans, and I'm probably going to take a lot of heat for it. But since we already have a precedent with Swift Swim and Drizzle, we can easily put another clause in for Sand Stream and Sand Rush and Route and
that's like the main argument that people are making for, like, oh, this is why we shouldn't be banning it. But even so, I don't know.
And like, if you take that out, then what? It's going to have 5 to 8 turns to sweep, which is still doable with Excadrill, but it's going to make it a lot harder. Because figure, you got to switch in, there's 1 turn, he's going to Swords Dance up, and then you can stall it out if he's going to go for an Earthquake, predict the Earthquake, send out something like a Dragonite to dodge it, and then fodder something off. You can easily stall out those Sandstorm turns, and it's going to last maybe 5 to 8 turns there. So, and also that would be great because we need a Rapid Spinner. There's very few Rapid Spinners in the game to begin with, so banning a Rapid Spinner, personally, I'd want to do whatever it takes to bring him back down. And with along the lines of that, if we do those 3 complex bans, then there's no reason that we couldn't do a complex ban with Blaziken and ban just Speed Boost Blaziken.
That was the logic I didn't get. Like, Blaziken would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, there was no reason they needed to ban it entirely. But I'm optimistically hoping that some of these bans will change. Like, I guess with Excadrill, I could see it them bringing it back. It's just for now, I would rather, I want them to do something, I'd rather, them ban it than not do anything. But yeah, I agree it's probably better for them to just ban the combination of Sandstorm and Sand Rush. But I was also saying, like, with the reason, like, they haven't banned Drought and Chlorophyll as a combination, or at least in general, like, I've done a few PO tournaments where they actually didn't allow it, but for the most part, it's just the fact that you have this, a lot of these pokes that have chlorophyll are pretty fragile and much harder to take out, and they just don't have the same
and
sweeping potential.
And really, they're just pokes that belong in the lower tiers, but because of the prominence of weather, they're in the OU tier, and that brings me to the second option. Since we did make a simple ban with Blaziken, we could make simple bans and just ban perma-weather altogether, which is the other route we could take. And that's one that I actually did a discussion a few weeks ago on one of Killer Nacho's videos with him about it, and he linked me his blog that he wrote about it, and it made perfect sense. But the fact is, Smogon's now created a sort of haze of confusion on whether we're going to be doing simple bans like the Blaziken ban, or if we're going to be doing complex bans like Swiftsum and Drizzle. So Smogon really needs to make up their mind what they're going to do, if it's going to be simple bans from here on out, or if they're going to stick with the complex bans they're making, in which case bring Excadrill back down from Ubers, just ban Sandstream and Sand Rush together, and bring Blaziken back down and ban Speed Boost Blaziken. The other option that they could do, and this one I'm completely against, is separate it into, you have your standard non-Dream World tiers, and then you have your Dream World tiers. And I don't like that idea at all, because Dream World was put in for a reason, and it brings in some less used pokes.
Yeah, I think there is one very good use though that it has, which is the fact that it's sort of like this testing ground, so they can kind of prepare themselves to see what's really broken and what will really work, what is so overpowered that they need to take care of it, before it really hits, as soon as it hits the meta, which is what the Dream World tiers are all about on PO, and I think they're helpful, but I haven't taken advantage of them just because there's all the unreleased Dream World abilities.
Yeah. And I think it's probably, I think 5th gen is probably going to stay a complete mess in the overused, especially, not so much the lower tiers, because when new Dream World abilities come out, those Pokemon are going to shoot right up to the OU, and we're seeing it right now with Sableye, for example. He's climbing up the tiers pretty quickly. I don't know
Which is fine, though. I mean, as long as they're making the appropriate changes, I don't care, if the pokes...
Yeah, as long as they're sticking to the usage method, I'm perfectly fine with it. But the thing is, 5th gen, it's going to be a long, long time till it's stable, and it's probably going to be till just before 6th gen comes out even. Until
maybe, we have to see.
It's a little long.
The fact of the matter is, it could become good, much better, if, the people in charge, decide to make it happen.
Yeah, but
and if they're made aware of this.
We're going to have to see these Dream World abilities released a lot faster than they're getting released. That's the thing.
True, but it's hard to really say. I mean, I have no idea how the system works, so it's hard to know.
I don't even know if they're going to release all the Dream World Pokemon. That's the thing. They're releasing them so slowly that by the time they get them all out there, we might be in 6th gen, in which case they might not have the Dream World there, so...
It's a good thing to think about, but truly, I think the metagame will become instantly stable once they get rid of permanent weather, and that's whether it's Tyranitar, whether it's Politoed, or Abomasnow, or Ninetales. Because, really, I don't want to see all those guys go, but if they really want a truly stable metagame, they're going to have to get rid of permanent weather.
Well, they all have other abilities anyways. Like
that's
Politoed
true.
And Ninetales, they have other abilities.
But I don't know if they're going to become... I just don't know if they're going to automatically do that right away. I don't know. If they did it with Blaziken, they're not going to do it with any other else unless they get some sort of, wave of compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while, and the fact that most of the voting is based on people who rank in Smogon server, then you kind of get a bit of, you're going to get different opinions each time, so you might not always be on the same course.
Yeah.
Which really can hinder progress, but it's the way Smogon does things, and it's worked up until this gen, but I think this gen we need to change things up a bit and figure out what we're going to do with the metagame, because it's a mess in OU, and it's part of the reason why I stopped doing OU battles, because after the Excadrill and the Thunderous ban, it became a bit sloppy up there, and it just wasn't very fun anymore.
I agree, but I mean, truly, you can't decide anything until like Smogon decides to take a bold step. But whatever step they're gonna do, it's going to anger somebody.
Yeah, it's gonna anger a lot of people one way or another, and there's no pleasing people. So
I do agree. And okay, so we've been rambling on long enough about this topic. We're gonna ask one more question, and let me just think of that question as I'm looking at tier list right now. Okay, one more question. What do you think of the borderline tiers, and what do you think Smogon are gonna do with them?
I hate them. Oh my god, they're the stupidest thing ever. Why have a borderline tier when it can't be used in the tier just below it? Like, you're saying it's too powerful this, but it's not powerful enough for this.
I mean,
I
think
nearly enough in them to make two separate teams out of them. So why not just get rid of them and say OU, UU, RU, NU? Like I kind of get why they have them there, because it says like, yeah, this thing's good, but it's not good enough yet. Maybe it needs a little tweaking, a few more experiments on movesets until we figure out what works, stuff like that. But really, I don't see a use for them at all. I kind of skip right past them when I'm going through the tier.
I mean, it sort of depends on how you look at it.
Oh, look who just came online.
Look who just came
on. Oh my god, we just gained 90% more herpes. Oh shit, we're at 100.
I'm gonna die, aren't I?
Hey.
Can't get rid of herpes.
Yes, you can.
We are adding him.
Oh my god. This is like the most random Sawk Tawk ever.
And he's not responding.
Let me guess, you two and Soulfate suck?
Okay, we're doing a Sawk Tawk join. Yes, we can make a video. No, Herpy can't.
No, you bastard!
No.
Oh well.
I can make a video.
We made an effort.
Oh, just join and say hello to recognize. Just join and say hello.
Yeah, please.
Just join and say hello. So anyways, keep going about what we were talking about.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say, the one purpose with BL that I think does make sense is just the fact that there are these pokes that we're very hesitant to let them be put into the lower tiers, but we're also not necessarily sure that they belong in the higher tiers. So I get it, but I do feel like, yeah, with some of the pokes that they actually have, it just kind of,
Personally,
but then again, at the same time, like, Qrem is a poke where it's like, I hardly ever see people use it, but it is good.
If that thing goes down to UU, I will never do a UU battle again. That thing.
Why? Is it really that overpowered that if it was in UU?
UU has a shit ton of Hailstorm teams.
That's
in there,
true.
So you just figure Kyurem has, what, 140 base special attack? A Blizzard from that in Hail is going to hit every time, and
good
shit ton of damage.
Point.
Herpy, is there anything you'd like to say?
Not really, sorry.
Hi,
I don't know what you guys are talking about right now, I just got back.
We now have 100% herpes in this call.
It's true. And we've got twice as much herp and derp.
Yep.
All right, but we were
Haven't
just
heard that one in a while.
we were just talking about borderline tiers.
Oh man, those borderlines, like Venomoth and stuff.
Yep.
Let's BL2, which we'll get to shortly after.
Herpes.
I can talk for a little bit if you want.
Sweet.
To get back, though.
Well, why don't you stay forever and ever and ever?
All
You
right.
could be our friend with benefits.
Anyways, personally, borderline, it's like, I don't really think they can be used in OU. I mean, Staraptor, I guess he could be, but he's a little bit too frail. And with all the checks running around with Staraptor, it is possible easily to just throw in a Ferrothorn there and just well, I guess he can use close combat, can he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's why I really like Staraptor, because it can learn close combat, which hits, meaning it can hit things really hard. The only problem is, if it has Reckless and you have Life Orb, it's just going to take a shit ton of damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I feel like
it's
Choice
kinda
Band
like-
is more, adequate, but still, then that leaves you open to, all these walls.
I mean, I kind of think of Staraptor as kind of like a suicide guy. Like, you can definitely, 100% take down something on your opponent's team, but you're just gonna have to kill Staraptor in the process.
I agree. Anyways, and Borderline 2, now, RU has added some players to it, Pokemon to it, since the new RU list came out, which they put Alakazam and Sableye there, and Venomoth and Yanmega were already there. And really, I guess most of these guys, except for maybe Venomoth, can be used in UU, but I just didn't feel the need that they needed to ban Venomoth.
The problem is that, okay,
I'll
when
let
you
you
think
go.
about it, when I talked about it in my Masquerain video I made, there's only two guys that can baton pass a Quiver Dance. That's Venomoth and Masquerain. And Venomoth does a much better job at doing that because of Sleep Powder, because you're basically given one free turn to set up a Quiver Dance, which is just
exactly.
so ridiculous.
Makes a huge
That's the main reason why
Focus
Venomoth is in
Sash.
Borderline.
Yeah, and if you run Focus Sash, there's 2 free turns.
Yep.
Pretty
But
much.
unless you get outsped, which is rarely the case though. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. My only problem with BL2, I agreed with Venomoth, I agreed with Alakazam and Sableye, but Yanmega I never really saw as much of a threat, but
Are you
maybe
kidding
that's
me?
because I had a Reg Ice on my RU team before he was in BL, and I could just put that thing in and wall him to death.
I mean, Regice weren't normally used. It was really, people brought Yanmega just to rape, and because it was a huge counter to Chris.
Yeah.
So true.
Anyways, I think this will just about wrap things up. We have been going on for a while, and unfortunately, Herpy joined us at a really late hour, so
Yeah, sorry about that.
it's alright. He's very tired if
And
he
then
can't
when we're
hear.
done with this video, we'll start questioning Herpy about random things, like why he hasn't contacted us in a while.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
what the hell, man?
How was that Asian hooker that you were...
That's another question for another
Okay,
day.
okay, no. Anyways, that's gonna do things, wrap things about up here. Do things about up. Anyways,
Always wrap it up.
yes. So this.
Wrap it up.
So this will be on Herpy's channel, of course, as all Sawk Talks are, and I'm sure there'll be a link to download an MP3, even though if you're listening by now, I doubt you downloaded to your MP3 player. But anyways, that doesn't matter. So we'd like to thank Soulfate for being on the show, and definitely go subscribe to him. He is very undersubbed and deserves more attention. And of course, also sub to JR the Juggernaut, because he is an amazing guy, and he also deserves more subs, and most importantly, sub to me, but I think most of you already have been, because, I don't know.
You are idiots.
Yeah, you're fools. So, thank you guys for watching this, and for Soulfate, JR, and Herpy Derpy, I'm JediMono8895, and stay classy.
You're not Ron Burgundy, you know.
Aw.